Hey guys, welcome to this training. In this training, we're going to talk about the $25,000 a month case study. And I'm going to do an in-depth review about exactly what I did. I'm going to show you the pages. I'm going to show you everything. And that is exactly what I have promised here. So let's start here by just going ahead. And I'm going to do it in a little bit different fashion because I'm always a believer that a whiteboard or teaching on a very interactive screen is much better than a PowerPoint. So I'd rather show you interactively. Now, what you're going to see here is I'm going to be typing stuff. You will see mistakes of typing, obviously, because it is a raw video. And this video is exactly what you are promised as far as being able to see exactly how I was able to do it. So let me just tell you about the idea and goal behind it first, right? So here's the idea and goal. So back in July of 2014, I kind of stood back and I said, you know, I've been doing this list building thing and I've been making this money online, but I've got a really weird thought process basically, and said, you know, how do I know that what I'm doing works for anybody? And before I even consider releasing a product out to the world, I want to make sure that I know what I teach works. So basically I said, okay, I'm going to use not my name, not my brand, because I have a really big brand as far as my reach and so forth, not my network, and the big thing, not my tools, okay? Tech team. Okay, so I have a tech team, 3 guys that work for me. They design my pages for me. I'm sure you've seen some of my pages. They're very fancy, very nice, but you know, it didn't happen overnight, but that's exactly what I said. So I said, let's not use my name, let's not use my brand, let's not use my network, and let's not use my tech team. So the idea behind this is basically to be anonymous, right? To do it as any newbie would do it, except the only difference is that I have the knowledge in my head of exactly what it is, right? So there's 2 goals. My first goal, build a list of at least 1,000 people. Whoops. My goal number 2, generate at least $1,000 in income. All right. So the goals when I first started this case study weren't really aggressive. I said, hey, let me just start off by saying, all right, let me just try something that I know a newbie could do and build a list of at least 1,000 people, and then goal of building at least $1,000 in income, right? Well, you know, as we go through this case study, I kind of want to explain it more and stuff like that. But it wasn't a really aggressive goal because I wasn't thinking as far as the level that it actually ended up blowing to. My idea and goal behind it was, you know, as a normal person, anybody out there, if you're making $100 to $200 a day, which is $3,000 to $6,000 a month, that's absolutely incredible, right? I mean, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you would love to make $100 a day, or $200 a day, or $300 a day. $300 a day times 30 is $9,000 a month. Now, so I want to step back before I dig into it and kind of go over the foundations of why the thought process started to happen in my mind. And that's important to understand, because if you don't understand exactly how the thought process started, you'll never be able to get and grasp the goal. So let's go back in a second. So you've heard this saying before, each opt-in is worth $1 a month, right? Now, this principle and idea is very true when your list is smaller, but it can't be too small at the same time. So you have a 200-person list, it's really not going to be worth $200 a month unless you're really lucky. And then if you have a 100,000 list, it's not usually worth $100,000 a month. Those numbers adjust, but I think $1, to me, the sweet spot is between around 10,000 to about 30,000 people. I feel like that's the sweet spot for me. That's where I've seen it. And that's where I continue to see that sweet spot. Once you get over that, you start bloating out. Once you're under that, it's a little harder to do. So your goals always should be to get to 10,000 opt-ins or 10,000 leads, right? So let's talk about the math behind it, right? So the math behind it is exactly that. So if we can get 10,000 people as your sweet spot, and you take 10,000 times $1, that's $10,000 a month, right? So that's the sweet spot and the idea behind it. Now, so I kind of went back and said, okay, so we all know that everyone says if you buy traffic, for example, if you're buying traffic, it takes a lot more effort and energy to be able to get more opt-ins, right? You have to spend a lot more money. So I said, let me step back and think of 3 ways to do it, right? So in the normal way that a lot of people teach is, hey, let's just go buy a solo ad, slam them into an opt-in page, and make some money, and that's it, right? I said that's not really the correct idea behind it. I said there's got to be more to it, but I'm going to tap on that more in a second. I'm going to write that down over here on my other thing of why, we talk about this more. But let's focus a little bit more on the math side first, okay? So here's where you have to start thinking about the math behind it, right? So this kind of ties into the next aspect, but the first side of this aspect is very simple and straightforward like this. All right, so we've got you're spending $500 today, right? Let's just say your investment total today was $500. And this is, again, my thought process before I dive into this a little bit more. My investment idea was $500 today, and I want to spend $500 today to buy traffic, okay? Now, let's just say my opt-in page converts. I'm going to set the goal, set the standards here, okay? My opt-in page converts at 50%, okay? So that means 50%. So if I have 100 people come to my site, 50 people of them are going to enter their email address. So that's what conversion means, okay? So 50% of people who come to my page will convert to my opt-in page. So you're looking at 50 subscribers for every 100. So let's just say I spent $500, and I spent $500, and it was $1 per click that I paid, okay, to whoever it is, right? So that means I had 500 unique people come to my page, and I made per $1 per that click, per that visitor I had to pay. So that means I got 250 visitors, okay? Now, I know personally that if you put a serious autoresponder behind it, plus your aggressive setup, you can make your ROI back in 14 days. So what I did was, okay, so I'm going to show you the autoresponder setup. Okay, so with an autoresponder, it's actually really fun. So, there's a lot of ways that people teach this. Now, there's the way of teaching it where you're just promoting something every day, and there's the way of teaching it where you've got more of a approach where you're kind of imagining that you are giving them something and taking it back and forth over and over. So, I remember someone told me this, and it kind of stuck with me, and I kind of elaborated on it. So the idea basically is that someone gives you a cookie, right? Imagine someone gives you a cookie in one hand. Right? So let's just say a cookie, right? And you have two hands, right? You have a cookie in one hand, and you have empty in the other hand, right? Well, actually, you know what? It's fine. You can just imagine a cookie in one hand. So if you have a cookie in one hand, just think about this, okay? So every time, think of your autoresponder as ways to basically give them cookies and take away cookies, okay? Now think about that. So if I give you, let's just say, a free book, right? You bring them to my opt-in page and I give them a free book. What do? You're giving them a cookie because you're giving them a treat. You're saying, hey, look, I gave you something. Isn't that great? So then they've got a cookie in their hand. So every time they have a cookie in their hand, it's always important that, in this business that you have to take it away, but you got to take it away slowly. So basically every time you're taking it away is every time you're promoting them. So one of the biggest fallacies that I see with a lot of my students when I first start off online is that they're so afraid to promote to their list. But by not promoting to their list, when they promote, it creates mass exodus, basically. Basically, a lot of people leave the list. People get upset. People get angry at them because they were getting such free stuff over and over again, and all of a sudden they started getting promoted. So the idea and concept there is, you don't want to continue to give them only cookies. You need to take it away from them at the same time. Just kind of like the bad cop, good cop analogy there, right? So my autoresponder series is that I'm giving them a cookie. So let's just say day one, I give them the free book, right? So day one is the responder, right? Now jumping into the autoresponder, and I'll show you why I'm getting into that in a second, right? Then day two, maybe a reminder of the free book and who you are, right? So then at this point, I've given them a free book, taken a cookie, and then given them a second cookie. So now they've got two cookies in there. So day three, promotion, okay? Day four, promotion, okay? What did I just do? I took the two cookies out of their hand, right? Day five, feel good, okay? Content, okay? So now I give me a cookie again, promotion. See how I'm doing this? Now we're 6 days in. Basically, for 3 of the days, I've promoted to them something, and the 3 of the days, I've taken something away from them. So what are we left at? Basically, when they opted in, you already immediately gave them a cookie. So now you're still one cookie in hand. You've given them 3 cookies on top of that, but taken 3 cookies away, so you're still at net zero. So that idea and concept should be pushed for up to 14 days. And you can do it however you want to do it. You just need to make sure there's a balance behind it. And that's the important part. I'm going to get, again, back into why I'm teaching you this right now. But this is important to think about when you're doing your autoresponder setup, right? So my 14-day method is basically, if you do this for 14 days, you will return 100% ROI on any traffic you purchase. Now, I say this in a very thing, as long as it's good traffic, it's vetted traffic, and it's traffic that you know comes from a good source. So if someone recommends that traffic, someone teaches you that the traffic source is good, if you get that traffic from one of these random sites on the internet or Facebook that I've seen for solo ads or, you know, traffic and blah, 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 chances are I don't know if that answer is going to be true. But if you're using the traffic sources that I recommend, or anybody that you know is a higher level marketer or a principal out there is recommending, you will be able to make 14-day ROI. What I've also noticed is that in 14 days, you should make that ROI. In 14 more days, 14 to 16 more days, so the rest of the month, if you continue this trend, you'll be able to double your ROI, okay? So I've noticed this, and I knew this in the back of my head when I came into this. So let's go back here, and I had started here with that 250 visitor mark because this was my thought process. Now, what I'm going to show you after this is I'm going to start showing you what I personally did, and I do have a lot more money to invest in it, obviously, and so I did it in a lot more aggressive manner just to prove that it worked. But you can do it with any level, and that's the whole key here. So let's start back here. You have $250, right? And you have $500 is what we started off of here, I think, right? Let's just scroll up and look. Yeah, I said $500. Okay, so let's just copy this here. Okay. All right, so we have $500 to buy traffic. My opt-in page converts at 50%. So that means every 2 visitors that come, I'm getting 1 person to opt in. I have 500 visitors. That means I can get not 250 visitors, but 250 opt-ins, right? That means I can get 250 people on my list, right? So in 14 days, I should be able to get 100% ROI. So in 14 days, you should be able to make your 500 back. In 14 to 16 days afterwards, you should be able to make another $1,000 total, right? So this is after another 14 to 16 days, okay? So how did that work? Why, even though I just said that there was $1 per subscriber, why did that work a lot better than that? Because with the method that I teach with the cookies, basically taking the cookies and giving it back and forth, it gives them a feel-good interaction. Basically, it gives them a reason to stay on your list. Now, you're on my list, most likely, now that you purchased. Now, if I just promoted you every day, would you stay on my list? Well, chances are some of you guys would stay on my list, but some of you guys won't stay on the list. And I've noticed that before. I've got lists in different niches that are just promoted every day, and I lose subscribers every day. But the whole idea behind that one was it's a turn and burn churn type business. I don't recommend that when you're a newbie, but once you get into my level, you realize that not all the niches are created equal. Some of them do require that kind of aspect and mentality behind them to make money. Now, in this niche, it's a relationship niche. This is called relationship marketing. You need to make sure that you have relationship going on here. So for the next 14 days, you're going to try to make your $500 back, which is going to be done by going through these steps, right? So we got 1, 2, 3 promotions, and then probably 6. So you're going to have total about 6, 7 promotions that happen throughout the 14-day period, but you're also going to have about 7 days of feel-good stuff in there. So the people feel like they're getting value even though you're promoting them. Then 14 to 16 days after, you're continuing to do the same thing. So you're probably thinking 2 things right now. Jimmy, what is the value? What are you giving them that's valuable? And then secondly, what are you doing for feel good, right? So I said, okay, let me go back real quick and talk about that. These are things that come to my head while I'm making this video, of course. So feel good. And we're going to touch base on this again just in a second. So feel good. Feel good, it can be content, basically blogs, videos. I've been really successful of going to YouTube and just basically typing in some really good stuff, finding it out there. And it doesn't have to be your own content. Just make sure you're not sending them to an opt-in. It needs to be good content where you read it and go, wow, okay, that makes sense. Or you can give them PLR stuff. PLR is private label rights, okay? PLR is very basically the idea and content behind it is that someone is writing, it's a ghostwriter that's writing it and selling it out there for anywhere from like $2 to $5. It's not really expensive. It's very cheap stuff. But a lot of times I've been able to buy PLR and then just tweak it a little bit, put a little bit of good stuff in there, add a little bit of energy around it, and it becomes much better content. It's got the core principle and idea behind it, but sometimes it's missing some stuff. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just go ahead and grab that PLR and just roll it out right from there. You don't even have to go crazy and do a really nice PLR setup. Now, that's what feel good stuff is. So you can go back there. Backing up here, back to this here. Let's talk about this. So I'm going to delete this out of the screen because it's out of place. So we have 14, 16 days and $1,000 total in 16 days. So I said, let's go back here, and we talked about this. In 14 days, we're going to make my initial $500 back that I spent. And then after 14 to 16 days, I know that I can make $1,000 back, 200% ROI. And then after that, every 30 days, I should be able to make $250 a month minimum, right? So that's that $250 opt-in. So those are your leads right there, aka leads. And 250 leads a month should make you $1 per lead, should make you $250 a month minimum. So every 30 days after $250. So that's my math behind it. So in month one, I've made $1,000 roughly with 500 invested, right? So now this is where people get confused and they don't take action in the correct way. They make this money, they get excited, they go run off, take that $500, pay their bills, do anything they want to let it go. Now, let's just take an example. Like, not a lot of you guys own the whole brick and mortar thing, but if you were to own a brick and mortar store, let's just say, because I do own a brick and mortar store, what I think about is this. If every time I made $500, $1,000, I made some money back on my ROI. Like, for example, my clothing, right? We build it for $12, $15, and we sell it for $45 to $60, right? We make huge ROI on it. But if every time I made that money and I pulled it out of the company, what would happen to the company? It would fall apart, right? So what I know is that you have to invest it right back into the system. So I knew that, okay, so we take that idea. So month two, we made $1,000. Plus, we know we have about $250 a month coming in. So you've got $1,250 to invest that month, right? So let's go ahead and pull this math up again, right? So let's say invest $1,250. $1,250, and what do we say? $1, 50%, right? Conversion. $1,250 at $1 click. Okay, now that click number starts coming down as you invest more money, which is also really cool. But let's just use that same math here, okay? So that should be 1,250 divided by at a 50% opt-in rate. So that's, what's that? 625 people, right? 625 subscribers, right? So we just did this whole math right here, right? So we should be able to, in 14 days, make $625 back. 14 to 16 days after, make $1,250 back total, right? I'm sorry, not 12. We should be able to make $1,250 back, and we should be able to $2,500 back. Now, again, these are getting aggressive, but you know, this doesn't happen overnight for people. Just so that there's a disclaimer out there. These numbers are because I'm very, very good at it. Doesn't mean that you'll get those results, but even if you get 80%, 70% of the results, I don't think you're going to be unhappy about it. So I just want to explain that up front so that no one's really upset at me because they're not getting the exact numbers back, okay? So 1460 day, get $2,500 total back, right? Because we're doubling that income. Plus, you just added 625 subscribers, so every 30 days, it's worth $625 a month minimum. So why do I lower that after the 30 days? Because we all know that people fall off your list, they unsubscribe, they stop paying attention to you, your emails start getting spam boxed. There's a lot of reasons why that happens. So I always back it off really fast, but that's my ROI numbers and that's my principles behind it, okay? So now, month 3, you've got your $250 from month 1, plus your $2,500 ROI, plus your $625. Let's just stop there, right there. Let's see. Plus your $250 plus your $625 month. So we're talking month 3, not month 2, because this action actually would have occurred in month 2. So in month 3, now you've got all that money. So what do you have there total? I'm doing my basic math. Let me pull out my calculator so I don't look like an idiot on camera. So 33, okay? All of a sudden, you've made $33.75, right? Of course, you've got about $500 investment, plus any other little fees, right? Such as like the autoresponder cost, which would cost you probably like $19 to $30 a month, plus any other little basic costs, you know what I mean? You know, there's a lot of different expenses that you have to think about. So let's just say expenses, you have like $100 in expenses. I mean, that's really what you're looking at, $100 roughly, give or take. So you've got about $3,200 you made that month in your business. And now remember, that whole time, you've actually only invested $500 to buy that traffic to start. So you see, in 3 months, I've been able to escalate that. Now, this is the slow way, right? And this is the idea behind it. So I said, what if I took this and said, let's take a huge scale. Let me go crazy, right? So what if I started off, instead of spending $500 and spent $10,000? Okay. What if I spent more money? What if I knew there was extra ways to do it instead of just sitting back and waiting? Right? What if I said, I know there's better ways to teach and create a vision around this, right? So I said, why would I stop just at emailing? Why can't I, right? Why can't I create a second name or person for my own list? Okay. What if I create a Facebook fan page? What if I create, look for click swaps, all right? I said, why am I limiting myself here to just the solo ad, doing this 14-day thing, following up, working so hard to do it? Why can't I make it faster and expedite the process? And I said, let me try this. So I started to think, okay, so this idea here is not always the most generic. It's a pen name idea, right? So basically, the idea behind this was, hey, I'm not even using my own name. If I don't use my own name and I decide that I want to use my own name, finally, I might as well do it. And then this idea actually came up. This idea is actually a new idea that's not actually been implemented. I don't know how well it works comparably, but it was just something I need to drop in here because I did eventually say, all right, enough of being this other person. And I'm going to reveal who that person is in a little bit. Let me just reveal my own name. So that's what I did. So basically, I went ahead and let's start here. So how did this whole $25,000 thing start? All right, so we're gonna go right into it, right? So let's just start from the top, all right? I had to do research, okay? No, nothing is complete without research. You've got to do your research. So what did I do? I went and said, I really like the law of attraction. Law of attraction has been a great little mindset for me, right? Positive mindset, thinking of what you want, visioning what you want, and getting what you want. Now, I have a little bit different take of law of attraction because people have taught me a lot of different ways, from knowing people like Bob Proctor to Onyx and Gall. They've all kind of given me their perspective, and I've kind of made my own version of it. Basically, the idea is to take it step by step. You can't have step A to B and attract it, right? I said, hey, you need to have step A, and then you have to have a goal 1, then goal 2, goal 3, goal 4 that gets you to B. You got to basically go through steps. And that's how I believed in law of attraction. So I said, what, it's fine. It doesn't matter how I believe in law of attraction. I just know that I believe in it. And let me go ahead and roll out and go look for it. So I did my normal research. I'm going to pull it up now. I jumped onto ClickBank, which is one of the world's largest marketplaces of digital products. And I said, let me go look and see how good it is. So I went and found it, self-help. And I would look through here. I mean, there's a lot of ways, a lot of different things. And then I said, I typed it in, law of attraction. I kind of started searching. And, you don't need to really see what's on here. But basically, I started searching and realizing, hey, there's a lot of great products on it. I looked at a couple of the sites. Like I went to here and I would click on it and take a look at it and see what it was and read all about it and see what I'm expecting on these pages and how much money they are and so forth, and said, hey, there's a market for it. So first of all, that's always important to make sure. Oh, you just saw a page that you weren't supposed to see yet. A market for it, right? So I said, okay, great. So now I'm doing my product research. I started my research with my product research, make sure that there's good pages. And I just kind of went to a couple of them just to sit here and kind of get an idea of how they speak and what's on the pages. So I would load up a couple of them. Let's go ahead and load up a couple of them here. So, so I would go through them and just kind of see how they speak and what they're talking about and, how things work and so forth. So it's pretty interesting to see. Let's see here. Law of attraction. Find out how you can attract wealth. Learn how you can discover. So I said, it's a mindset of money, wealth, getting things together, and so forth. So I said, okay, great. That's perfect. I got it. I got the idea behind it. So let me scroll back down here and say, All right, great. This sounds good. So I need a PLR. Remember I said I need a free gift? I need a PLR. So I went to Google. I literally went to Google and did this. Law of Attraction PLR. Really simple. As simple as look at guys. Look at all the different things. Master resale rights, master PLR. Master resale rights means you can't change the name on the article. You can only give it away for free or for paid money, but you can't give it away for free. But you see, I'm giving stuff away, so I want to make sure I find some good courses. So, I did a little bit of my research, and I don't remember where I ended up buying. Oh, no, I do remember now, but I'll tell you that in a second. But I started doing my research, but you guys see here, $6, $5, $6, $5, $4, $2. It just depends how much money you want to spend. And some of these courses are better than others. They're very simple courses. They come with a lot of fun stuff, actually, images. Sometimes they come with sales pages. You don't need any of that stuff. All you need to know is make sure that, it's in a good format, number of pages, and when it was released, and maybe the summary. Kind of read the summary, make sure it makes sense. Now, I'm not telling you to get into the law of attraction niche. I'm just purely showing you this. So let's just say your niche was weight loss. Let's just say you want to say men lose weight, PLR. So let's just type that in. Boom. Real quick, easy, PLR everywhere. Guys, PLR is one of the hidden things. I always make fun of the PLR idea because, in my clothing business, for example, one of the manufacturers that we have is pretty interesting. So that manufacturer actually makes products for like companies like Barney's or Saks or what is it, Nordstrom's, and they also sell the Marshalls and the Ross, and basically all this stuff, all this clothes, all comes from the same factory. It's actually amazing, and we buy from them too. And it's amazing that our shirt that we may make or get the base standard shirt, let's just say that a T-shirt, for example, that plain T-shirt could be sold to 4 different places all at the same price. So it is true, and I didn't know this until I learned it, that it is true that you can get the same product from 8 different places at 8 different price points from the same warehouse. And that's the same idea and concept you're using here. It's all about how they perceive your value, all right? So let me go back here. So PLR, okay? And so I was about to do this in the PLR, and I said, let me just reach out to a friend of mine and said, hey, do you have any PLR that you have handy? And I said, and I wasn't even looking to save a few bucks. I just wanted to be a little bit more unique. I was looking for a PLR audio, right? So we looked here, let's say, looking for PLR audio, just because I wanted to be different. So I said, and it exists, no problem. PLR audio is everywhere, like MP3 or whatever you want to call it. I think I called it MP3 when I did my research initially. And I was like, hey, look, there's plenty of different PLR audios out there. But, I was fortunate enough, I have some friends, and I said, hey, can I just get one of your audios and use it? He said, yeah, no problem. Here you go. So I got it, done, right? So really simple, right? So I said, let me put the page together. Now, we talked about, you're here, you're a Build My List member. Chances are you've already gone through step 4 if you're here. If you haven't, step 4 teaches you all about our landing page builder. Now, let me see if I can pull it up here in 1 second there. Okay, so if you're here now, as a member, that there's this landing page builder, and I've just pulled it up here just to show you. And this landing page builder is pretty cool. It allows you to kind of do a little bit of anything or everything, all right? So, it depends on how up to date you are, but these landing page builders get better and better. It's not just landing page builders, it lets you build sales pages with videos. So, if you want to do a members review of something or a product review of something, it allows you to make that video and just have a click-through button, or it allows you to go through and make webinar pages and so forth. My personal favorite is opt-in page 1. It's very simple, straightforward, and allows a lot of functionality. So, you guys have seen it. It's not very hard. You can change things really easy on this thing. So I'm just going to load one up real quick. So it allows you to change things up really fast. Let's just delete stuff real quick. I like to keep it really simple. I've learned a long time ago with landing pages that the simpler the better. So let's just click on it. Let's get rid of the name. Get your free tool. It's pretty cool, and a lot of people get frustrated because they overthink the situation is what I always say. Just think about it this way, right? How would you like to be sold? Basically, how would you like to be sold by people? Like if you came to a page, think about the words that would entice you to purchase, right? So that's like the idea and goal set here. I'm not going to go into SendLane because that's described in step 4, but I am going to come down here and say, let me get my page together. So I use SendLane to get my pages together. I got 2 pages together actually, and let me pull them up right now for you. All right, so there was 2 pages. There's page 1 and page 2. Now this one, because I know HTML, I tweaked it. Here's another page that I made myself, real simple. I used one of those free tools to make a little bit of thing here. So there's 2 free pages that I made. So let's look at the first one. This is the one I made first. I made this one and I tweaked it with my own HTML. So I did cheat a little bit because I did my own basic tech stuff, but it didn't matter. It was just me just tooling around. This page converts actually better than this page did anyways. And this page I made with SendLane, which as you can see right here in my URL, sendlane.com, jimmykim.sendlane.com. So here is my page. Now, what is it? Now here's my reveal. Here's my first big reveal. I didn't use my own personal name. I used a pen name, and I actually used the pen name of a female because I thought, hey, let me try something, just because it'd be cool, because I know females love law of attraction. So let me relate to the niche. The niche of law of attraction, when I did my research, I learned really quickly that it goes for people anywhere from, about 25, 30 years old female to about 60 years female is a female-dominated market. So I said, let me be a female and see what happens. So I went and found a free picture of a person and everything. So let me opt in here, okay? So I opt in, and that's it. This is my page. All right. There's a little picture. I found this online. I think I went into stock images and I bought a $5 stock image of her just to use a picture of someone, right? I put an email address here. And some of you guys listening to this are going to be shocked because you're probably on this list and you just don't know how or what or why you're there, and you probably opted into this thing. So here you go. You can save the download, or that's it. Real simple, right? So I had this page and I opted you in, and that was it. Very simple. And then the other one here, I use SendLane, so let's jimmykimlive at gmail.com and download now. And once it downloads, same thing, except I use the SendLane thank you page builder. See here, I use sendlane.com, view law of attraction multiplier, thank you. So basically, here's your free hidden book, download now, etc. So you see here I have a picture of myself. So same idea as this one. Basically allows you to do this one-page website. These web pages are very simple. You see this? This is really bad. I used, I think, a free HTML editor. I made it just to prove it to the point that I don't know how to design or do anything coding-wise. I actually really thought this was a good page because this is as good of my ability that I made. So don't laugh at it if you're a web designer. I know it's not the best page. So I said, let me put this page together and go with it, okay? So you see the pages, right? Put pages together. Done. That's it. Okay. Step 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 is let me find the research, PLR, put the pages together, right? Now, last thing left is traffic. Traffic. That is the magic number and magic number. Now, I know we talk about paid traffic, free traffic, all sorts of different things that you can do. And I said, let me combine, and remember I said here, let me combine ideas behind free, email, and second pen name. And that's actually what this page here was actually designed to be my second pen name, or not second pen name, my real name. But I decided to do this, and it's actually been working really good for me. So I want to share with you what I did here. And then we have fan pages and, of course, click swaps. So let me pull up that fan page here on this other screen here. And click swaps. What are click swaps? Basically, is the ability to go to other people and type in, hold on. Okay, there it is. Okay. So it's the ability to basically allows you to go to someone who has a list just like yourself, maybe 500, 700 people, 1,000 people on the list, and say, hey, I'll send you 200 clicks if you send me 200 clicks. Real simple. It's like barter. And that idea and concept is actually really easy and very old school. But I said, you know what? That idea should always work. So I said, let me go do that too as well. So let me go ahead and pull up this too. And here's my little Facebook fan page. It's not a lot of people, but the whole idea behind it was, hey, let me continue to give you guys, and you'll see right here. Look, I'm promoting my friend Jimmy, even though it's actually me. And I put some stuff in here and etc., right? So the idea behind this was that I could continue to build people into another source while still giving people just some value. So I would drive them here for value as all was, hey, follow me on Facebook, etc. So it was just an idea behind it. So I'll talk about a little bit more how that worked for me too, because this was also paid media too. And then, of course, looking for click swap stat, I can teach you as well. And I'll talk to you about that in a second. And then creating a second name. This, again, was an untested. It's a wild card, but I had to mention it because I did do that. Okay. All right, cool. So now the next thing here is let's start talking about how it worked. Okay. So let's talk about the $25,000 case study. It's really a aggressive case study because what I'm doing doesn't work for just about everybody because, well, it does work for everybody. It's just because I spent a lot more money up front, right? So instead of the typical $1,000 or $500, I said let me spend $10,000. And this is no way promoting that you should spend $10,000 up front. This is no way of saying that you have to take $10,000 to just grow your business. Okay. $10,000 was just an arbitrary number of mine that I came up with, basically said, hey, I can reduce this by 10% and say $1,000, and it works the same way, the math. So I went off and bought clicks, okay? Bought traffic, basically. I bought solo ads, and I had a great source. It's inside the step 5. It's called Clickonomy. It was a great source. It's owned by my friends Onyx and Gall and Ritoban C, and they were both gracious enough to let me use their platform to discover it. And I'm going to pull that up in another folder here. Give me 1 second. Oops. Let me pull that up here. And as I pull that up here, let me just see here. I'm going to show you the insides of it. You guys have seen it, I think, inside of what it is. Remember, I said I was a different name. There's my different name. I'm not even gonna hide the fact that I've been a different name on there because it has no reason. Let me see. Does it actually show me where I've bought and sold? My profile, maybe. Yeah, okay. So you can see as a seller and a buyer. Now I'm going to tell you why I was a seller and a buyer. You can see all the clicks that I offer for sale in here. Again, this is between me and you as you watch this video. This information is probably the first time I've shared it privately. In fact, some of these people I laugh at, for example, here, this one, Olga, who works for VSS Mind, which is the Onyx and Gall's company. Actually, I thought was really funny because when I met her in person, we started talking and she asked me what niches I was in, etc. And I told her and she goes, oh yeah, blah, 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 because she had just started. This was 9 months ago. And I told her, and then she tells me how she was buying traffic. And so I said, wait a minute, did you buy traffic from me? She goes, no, I never bought from Jimmy Kim. I said, oh, but you did buy from me in a way, right? It's actually very interesting. I used my pen name. Again, this was part of my test. But you see here 5, 6, 10 months ago, people were buying traffic from me and so forth. And as a buyer, you can see I was buying traffic 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago and so forth. I probably had more reviews. I think it cuts off after some. So, but anyways, let's go back here. So I bought traffic on Clickonomy and I spent $10,000. I don't think I got $1 per click because I spent so much money I was able to get more clicks. So I think at that point when I spent that much money, I think I spent, I want to say 80 cents a click average. Okay. So that means, right? That means it was better than $1,000 because you spent $10,000 times 0.80. So 10,000. Oops. Let me do the math here correctly. I just used the wrong math, not times. It's 10,000. No, divided by 0.80. It allowed me to get 12,500 clicks. Roughly, give or take. Some of these people on Clickonomy are very nice people and they over deliver. I think I actually ended up getting probably closer to about 14,000 clicks with all the free over delivery that happened there. 100 here, 100 there adds up really fast, okay? But I'm just gonna use the sake of numbers, 12,500 clicks, right? My opt-in page, because again, what I knew and all my testing that I've done in the past was converting at about 58%, okay? That was my conversion rate. So let's take the 12,500 times 58%, and it gave me 7,250 subscribers, right? Now, the math behind, and I think that's spelled right, subscribers. Okay, the math behind the 7,250 subscribers. What did we say? 14 days, ROI, 100%, 7,250. Did it work? Yes, it did. I actually was able to do that really quickly. And then I said 16 to 20 days, 14 to 16 days after, I should be able to 200% ROI. Did I get there? I actually didn't get there exactly to the key, and I think I ended up doing I think my actual math behind it, I gotta go look this up again, but my actual math behind the first one was a little over $7,500 roughly, give or take. And I think my overall math came out to, it was close, it was like $13,800 or something like that in 14 days. And I said, wow, this is great. It worked out. It's doing exactly what I did. All right, so let me continue. All right, so month 1, and I said month 2. Let me do that. Same thing, okay? Let me spend the $13,800 on traffic, and this time I was even get better deals, right? I keep continuing to go up, so I said, let me get it for, I think I spent about 70 cents a click, all right? So what does that equal? Let's see, 13,800 divided by 70 cents a click is 19,714 clicks. And I think, again, over-delivered, people give you extra clicks, etc. I think I got like 21,000 clicks roughly. Again, my opt-in rate this time was a little bit lower. I think it was about 52%. So let's just say 21,000 times 0.52 is 52%. It would be 10,920 opt-ins, right? Okay, so remember, oh, and also remember this. Month 2, I should be able to make at least $7,250 per month. Okay, so at the same time, I said, you know I can make $7,250 per month there, and I can get 10,920 opt-ins. So it's not really hard to know what's coming next. 14 days, ROI, 100%. $10,000 basically. I don't think it was supposed to be 10,920. I think I made probably right under $10,000, and then 14 to 16 days afterwards, I was able to invest 200% ROI. Again, I didn't think I met exactly there, but it's supposed to be somewhere around 21K, 21,800. I think I met a little over 20,000 back on that one. I don't know. I don't have the exact math to the T, but it's right around there. But plus my month of 1 of the 7,250 that I'm supposed to earn, I earned about $5,000 roughly. So it actually ended up coming $25,000, give or take. Again, this is pennies difference. I think my actual number, and I present this on the page, was actually like $25,282. So it was like $282. A little bit more actually, believe it or not. So I think it was like $5,500. And the reason really behind why my month 1 income didn't actually get to the point that I want to get to was merely because I just wasn't able to focus enough of my time. See, I run multiple businesses in my life, not just this. I'm also the CEO and co-founder of Senlane. I also own a clothing store. I also own my own consulting business. So, my time is very valuable. So I didn't get to run it at full time. So if you're focusing your energy and time exactly on this is where you're going to be able to do this stuff. And so what you're seeing here is very simple, straightforward. This is my $25,000 a month case study. It's broken down to the T with the math. You see where I continued with this. Now, what I was telling you about here is traffic. And where is it? Create ClickSauce and create fan pages. Let's talk about that real quick before I finish this off. So we create fan pages, paid media. So let me pull this up. So you'll see here, I don't think it shows anymore, but you'll see these high numbers here. And the reason why there's high numbers here that keep popping up is because I started trying paid media towards my page, basically allowing, and you don't see a lot of pages because I use these things called dark posts where you're not going to see them. But unfortunately, I can't show you the background pics because this account was disabled at this time because I did some bad stuff at the same time, I'm not going to lie, and I tried to do something a little bit more aggressive, and Facebook didn't like that, so that account didn't work anymore. But when I was doing it, what I was able to do was basically, the idea behind Facebook fan pages was I said, hey, let me just use a second outlet for content. Secondly, be able to create that viral aspect by giving away a book, which it was working for a while there. And then third, to have just another way to spend more money on paid media, because once you start getting into this type of numbers, you can't spend all of that on paid media. What you want to spend it on is other things like like Facebook and stuff like that. And then of course the click swaps started to come in. I was doing a lot of click swaps, basically doing like 1,000, 2,000 clicks per day and getting it. So basically the idea again is I give someone 1,000 clicks, they give me 1,000 clicks, and we swap. And my opt-in page I know is converting at better than theirs because I'm the better marketer, is how I always think. And let's just say I converted at 50%, right? And they were converting 48%, let's just say. So I get 500 subscribers and they get 480 from me. Is that fair? No, but it's all about being able to test and do the better. I've had situations where I've gotten 60% and they've gotten 30%. It's not because my traffic is worse, it's just because their page isn't set up correctly. And that's why it's important that inside the Build My List, we kind of give you examples of pages that do convert, because these are pages that we use that we know work very well. So remember that when you're making these pages. Just because you think they're right doesn't mean that they're always right. And especially when you're a newbie, I wish I had that. When I first started making my pages, when I was a newbie, I used to get like 25, 30% conversions, and I'd be very upset because I'd always see my marketer friends getting 50, 60% conversion. Slowly over time, it just kind of clicked on me, and then I started copying a little bit of what they did, and amazingly, it would work better for me. So it's something to think about. Secondly, what I've learned with this was doing this and being able to sell things alleviated me worrying about, where is it? This stuff right here. So I would always let everybody go through my systems. I've actually slimmed that down now to about 3-4 days, because for me, I'm not trying to make the ROI anymore. I'm trying to brand them better. But when I was doing it, I realized that I didn't have to go as aggressively with trying to get a 14-day ROI once my list size started to get up. So at this point here, when I had this 10,900 plus the 7,250, I was almost at a 20,000 list, a little over a 20,000 list. So when you have a 20,000 list, you don't need to go quite as aggressive about that 14-day rule. It's just to get you started, because I know how tough it is to get that money going. So I think that's it. I will talk about this more happily on the webinars that I do in the future with my Build My List students. I hope this has been an informative session. I hope you learned a lot from this session. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me directly. If you're an elite member, you know exactly how to get a hold of me. If you're not, you can get a hold of me through support and pass any questions off. But I hope this makes sense. Again, you can rewind it, watch it over and over again. There are a lot of things to learn here, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.